And then Angie, I'll give it to you. Do you want me to give it to you, Angie?
You're muted, girl.
Sure. Do you want me to read the disclaimer?
Yeah. Well, do you want me to make you host or not?
No, you don't need to.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like people are popping in.
Yeah. Shirley's here. Gail. Hi.
Hi, Crystal.
Deb's here. That's important.
You think?
We need to. Deb and Crystal. Hi, everyone.
Gail is MIA.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Angie, I like your hair. Looks pretty.
How you doing?
Thanks. I just got it done.
Pretty. I'm well. I've got my cute little 9-year-old right here, you guys. She's only 9 for 2 more weeks. It's getting dark, but say hi. This is Adri. She just got her blood taken.
Athlete.
She's another little athlete. Yeah, she just got her blood taken, and she told them that now she can't play at her basketball practice because they took her blood. So seems like a logical excuse.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to do the disclaimer? Okay. The following webinars and posts will include the personal testimonials of some coaches of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting any weight loss program.
Okay, great. Can I say something? There's a couple people that wanted to come tonight, and they said that they didn't want to show their Zoom, the face, which I understand. I don't like putting my face on there either. But anyone, don't ever let that keep you from coming. You don't have to talk, and you don't have to show your face. We love you no matter what. It's nice to see your face. I think we get to know each other a little bit better if we get to see each other, like, oh, that's where that craziness comes from, and stuff like that. But don't stay away just because of it. All right, I'm done. Deb's going to take over, right, Deb? Illuminate us.
Well, I don't know how much I will be illuminating you, but let me tell you, when I read this chapter or element, I guess there was a reason why I volunteered for this one, because wow. And I love how it starts out where it says, your goal is to create a microenvironment of health, a protective bubble. That hit me really in the heart, to shield you against obesogenic forces and nurture your growth and transformation. But I have done, I don't know how many diets in my life, and I end up later weighing more after, I've lost a lot of weight or whatever. And this chapter is why. It's the people around me. And it's probably people feel the same way, because for the most part, I see that it's mostly women. We're taking care of families. We're taking care of, parents. And we have siblings that we have to deal with. and our children. There's so much that we're dealing with that we get left out of it a lot of times. Excuse me. But this chapter I thought was amazing. This I have to keep going back. Element. I went through and I highlighted things, but there's a lot to discuss. And if you guys have anything to say, jump in. Just say, Deb, shut up. I have something to say. Because sometimes I have a tendency to just go and not stop and pause. So please unmute yourself and say, whoa, I have something. I have something. So, sorry, it's going to be, I have my computer glasses so that you guys are in frame. But I need to put on my reading glasses so this is in frame. There we go. Okay. I love that it says too that now that you've taken responsibility, determine that you will play above the line and decide to take total accountability for your health and life, everything will change. And the next paragraph I have highlighted. Okay,
What
so
page are you on, Deb?
what's that?
What page are you on?
Oh, sorry. 126. We're in the Fifth Element. Have you seen that movie? Or is that the Sixth Element? Sorry. I like movies. Okay. So anyway, it says this new way of being has a side effect. You will start to interact with your world in a different way. And this is where I have it highlighted. It's worth considering that those around you may not be making similar choices. This may present challenges that what we will now discuss in Element 5, optimizing your surroundings. And I have to tell you, my husband's gone for a little while. He might be back before this is over. But with all of the diets that I've done, this is the first time that I have his full support. And that means a lot, because a lot of the other times he would bring me home candy bars, bring me home, we call them gooeyes in our house, pastries, donuts and things. And after a while, I would give up and I would join him. But with this COVID, I'm in the high risk category. I've got diabetes, I've got high blood pressure, I'm obese. You know, I've got arthritis. I have all these things. And so when I told him that I needed to do something so I could get out of the high risk category, so I could see my grandchildren, it kind of hit him that, yeah, he needs to support me. And he has been so good this time. And he cheers me on. That's one of the things, you know, it's like I've lost 10 pounds plus a little bit. And he has been a champion in that. Because one of the things that I told him is like, I don't feel like we can travel like we did in the past because I don't feel good. And with the restrictions that we have, that's made it more obvious to him that, oh, yeah, if I want her to go with me, then she needs to do this. Anyway, he's a great guy, but now he's my champion.
That's so great.
Yeah. Before it's like, he's always said, I love you how you are. I don't care what you look like. I love you. But now he's seeing that I need to do this for my health. And then, okay, so in the last element, it says we work on a relationship with ourselves. But this one is one where we're going to work on our relationship with those around us. In order to minimize the effect on our progress by those around us, who are not quite there or simply don't support us, we need to talk about the dynamics of relationships, interactions, and connections with others. And I had so many, I didn't dare write them down in the book yet, because it's like, I'm going to have to write small. I am one of 7 children, and my husband is one of 7 children, and they all play dynamics in our lives. Anyway, this section will help us gain the support of others, which will be an incredibly important part of our daily life this year, or however long it's going to take us, to design and create new chapters in our lives. You know, I didn't realize until having to go into quarantine how important relationships really are. It says relationships are critical to everything we do in life. We're hardwired to be social. And I always felt like I was antisocial. And so quarantine has been really kind of a comfort for me. But there are things that I've actually missed that I didn't realize I would miss. And it says our sense of connection and belonging and attachment to other people is one of the most fundamental of all human needs. This connection not only serves us on our journey to health and well-being, but is essential in living a longer, healthier life. People that lack these fundamental human relationships of companionship and connection are at 45% greater risk of dying earlier. And I thought that's kind of an important thing to know.
I was going to say, there's a sobering statistic.
It is sobering, but you know what? Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but for us, we can't go to church. Like I said, because I'm high risk, so we can't go to church. So we have been doing church over Zoom for almost, well, when did we finally start? We didn't start right away. There was a time where we didn't have any church at all. We just, we would get a little message from our bishop, and that was all we had for quite a while until they finally started doing Zoom meetings. And
I know for us, it's been about 10 months.
Wow. Are you having Zoom meetings at all? Are you able?
We are having Zoom meetings. We are meeting in person as well. But for those who are high risk or just feel like they can't, risk it or whatever, maybe they have kids who have, low immune systems or whatever, that they don't want to compromise them. They aren't coming in person, and we're having Zoom. And last week we've had so much snow that they went ahead and canceled church and just had Sunday school at I want to say 11 o'clock. And that was it. We had a return missionary speak, and yeah, that was all we got. I mean, it was great, but that was all we got.
Well, I'm jealous of your snow. It's been like spring forever here in Utah. I feel like Salt Lake is turning into Mexico or something, because we have not really had any snow this year, which has been sad.
I'd be happy to send you some of ours.
Oh, please. Okay, let's get
Can
back
I
to
say something, Deb? Can I say
Yes.
something? One time I was taking a class, and they talked about how important relationships was and contact in general. Now, this hasn't a lot to do with this book, but it just came to mind. I thought I would share it. If a woman has twins that are preemies, they usually put them in the same incubator so that they can touch each other, because they find out that they thrive more when they're together than if they're separated. So that kind of shows you it is so fundamental. We're born with that need for that connection. And a long time ago, preemies would die at a much smaller rate. I mean, at much larger size, until they found out that you should stroke the baby. So they encouraged the parents to hold them and stroke them, because we need that connection. So I just wanted
That's funny. I actually have twins, and I put their cribs end to end. I used to, when they were newborn, I had them in the same crib, but they would tangle up. So it was just easier to have them in their own cribs. And when they were able to pull themselves up, it was so funny, because I could hear them doing their little chatters in the morning. And I always had their door cracked open. I would lay on the floor outside their room and look through the crack. And I would watch them as they were pulled up, and they were just patting each other and chatting to each other. And it was the cutest things. And I love my twins. Okay, back to the lesson. Here we go.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were talking about like the protective bubble, your surroundings or your protective bubble, I think I'm a little grateful for Zoom right now, because I know we're all in different areas of the country and stuff. but I feel like y'all are my little protective bubble. Like I look so forward to these nights. I know that we're all like-minded with, you know, several things, but mostly just on our health journey. And, you know, I think it's exciting, and it's important for us to rely on each other, and not just on Thursday nights too. You know, we have messenger or text message or whatever we can do. But I mean, I feel like we're a really powerful group of women, and we can really, you know, rely on each other. And so let's use each other more even. And also something I was thinking about too is, you know, you guys are all welcome to invite more to this, whoever would fit in and help us strengthen. And you know, I think that we have something really special here. So I feel like y'all are my protective bubble. So thank you.
Yay, Angie.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, I really look forward to this too, because I enjoy listening to everybody and then and pitching in, but at the same time, this is helping me stay accountable and wanting to stay accountable and be part of something. You guys have been so welcoming, and I thank you for that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'm going to turn the page over to 128. Oh, glasses. Sorry. My eyes are so bad. Okay, I love this when they talk about, okay, so the emotional or Labrador brain has been referred to as a hot or ghost system. In ancient times, it helped us survive. When we were threatened by the amygdala, or a concentrated group of nerves that control the emotional brain, would hijack our thinking and shut off cognitive high-level activities, and instead begin pouring out emotional energy to put the body into action. The body prepared itself to run with increased blood flow to muscles, not thinking or pondering, just high energy reactions, below the line thinking. It's how little kids and quite a few teenagers tend to think, and some adults. I know them. And then there's the cool or no system. Is the second operating system. It is run by your thinking brain and allows you to have meaningful, conscious conversations that are mutually beneficial. The body is in a very relaxed state with a slow heart rate, normal blood pressure, and a sense of alertness. It allows us to thrive. It is the habits of health default state, and our goal is to design your authorship of your life. I have a comment on this one because after I had my kids, okay, I need to see you guys when I do this, sorry. I really feel bad for my kids because when they were little, something would happen and I would just immediately yell, or, you know, I was always just high, it's like all my nerves were shot. And it took me years to figure out what was going on. You know, there was depression, baby blues, all sorts of things going on. But I finally found a doctor who was able to help me, and found out that my body was not doing its cortisol the way it was supposed to. And that's why I was, and so he put me on a supplement that helped me, which helped me to be able to, when something happened, stop, take a breath, think about it quickly, and not damage my children's self-esteem, not scream. And so I think there's more than just this. I really feel that chemically, sometimes we need help. There's things that we need to be able to do that. And I strongly suggest, you know, finding a good doctor. If you, like I said, it took me years to find one who would work with me, that wouldn't just put me on Prozac. I had been on Prozac. It helped for the time that I was on it. But then I also realized that it was a thing, so it was a chemical thing, that it was hormonal, because it was cyclical. So to get somebody who would help me work with that was great. Okay. It also goes into talking about triggers and well, I don't know, some of you might work, but there's an example that they have in here that unfortunately the perceived threats we feel today are mostly to our ego, which is true. That's, you know, and they trigger the go system when in most every case we would be better served by our no system. And he says, let's say that you're in a meeting and you perceive someone who's mocking an idea that you've just shared. Your go system is activated and you want to tear his head off. You release a litany of aggressive language. Your face goes beet red and you adopt an equally threatening body position. So this is kind of what I did with my kids when I would scream at them. And he says, after work, you throw down a couple of drinks without thinking to calm yourself down, only to find later that his comments had nothing to do with your proposal. The sum total is full go system activation, increased blood pressure, too much alcohol, damaged relationships, potential loss of job advancement, and poor health. So next time, the stop, challenge, choose. I like this, the stop, challenge, choose. Have a glass of water and achieve understanding by using the no system so that you progress towards better health and well-being. As you become more aware of your current behavior, this is the thing, we need to become self-aware. As you become more aware of your current behavior and you work on developing your healthy mindset, this simple analogy offers you the opportunity to improve your interactions with those around you. It's a no-go that can help. So it says, let's break things down. So your self-awareness really means knowing yourself, your emotions, and what triggers them, and how you normally react to specific people and places. This will help your no system dominate. And I don't know about you guys, but I have one or two people in my life that I dread seeing, but I know I have to see them because I'm related to them. And, you know, they're aggressive and it's not fun to be with them. And it's just, I don't know, it's like self-awareness. It's, like I said, this chapter, try not to get in that drama triangle that we talked about last week. Ugh. So it's really simply stopping and asking yourself, what is happening here? If we can help you make sense of your emotions and recognize when they are starting to reveal themselves, we can intervene and prevent them from hijacking the thinking brain. In turn, this will mean we can respond in a way that best serves us and keeps the go system switched off. Building this power micro habit of responding rather than reacting changes everything. And I don't know about you, it's like, I don't react anymore. I've learned to keep my mouth shut so that things stop around me. Do you guys do that with certain people in your life? If you just, you know that you can't really say anything without more drama. I've just learned to just cut it. And it says this gives us great power over our emotions, but I feel like if we can, well, I guess by being quiet, I'm taking control in a sense because I'm not reacting to them and making things worse. But it says in the last element, we talked about the importance of sensing the type of changes in our body that herald the rise of an emotion and the beginning of the activation of the go system. Early detection helps us to create a gap and gives us time to prevent go system activation. We can then use our no system to challenge our response and choose an outcome that moves us forward in our journey. And a lot of times for me, it's like, let's cut this short. Let's get out of here as fast as we can. If you can recognize and become fully aware of the emotion, then you can understand what is causing it. The beauty is that it usually represents a symptom of something we need to address in ourselves or our relationships. It can help you understand something important about yourself as you shift back above the line and learn from it.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, please.
Okay, I don't know who all read it. Everybody read this chapter? Because as you're saying it, at first it took me like 2 or 3 times to remember. Whenever she says the no or go, it's not N-O. It's
yes.
no. It's K-N-O-W.
Yes.
So I just, anyone who didn't get a chance to read that, I just wanted to let them know that that's what it means. Sorry.
No, I'm glad you said that because I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, if you haven't read it, then it is know or go. So many times you'll find that your ego is at play. Let's see. You can ask yourself what triggered yourself, if you need to respond, whatever. Okay, many times you'll find that your ego is at play. If you resist the temptation to interpret these interactions as a real threat, you can immediately diffuse those disturbing feelings. If it is a genuine threat to you, then you will be able to respond in a more reflective way that builds your case rather than destroying it. I need to go over this book again because.
Oh, don't worry, Deb. We most likely will. I mean, this is like a lifelong, I think, growing and learning process. I know that, I mean, this is very similar to something I use in therapy, which is that, you know, while we may have developed bad habits in life, and we kind of tend to have like a knee-jerk reaction to things or problems. What this chapter is trying to teach us is to learn better how to manage our behavior, how to manage our emotions, and B, to stop and challenge what maybe used to come to us as like a knee-jerk reaction or just how we were brought up, if you will, and then think of a better way to respond, think of a better way to address the issue than to just, you know, no filters, just let it all hang out kind of thing.
Well,
but
I'm finding that the system is your entire overall well-being. It's not just what I'm putting in my mouth, it's why I'm putting it in my mouth. And with every other diet that I've ever done, okay, so this really isn't a diet, it's a new way of life.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you all the way through. It helps you to transition when you hit your goal. It helps you transition to regular. You guys, I've never had anything like this before.
Deb, can I say something?
Anything like this before.
Can I say something, Deb?
Uh-huh.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
No, I'm in my car. Okay, cool. So I think a lot of us, when we start this, it's kind of a diet, you know what I mean? And then I'm just glad that we have this circle of trust here that you do realize it's so much more, and you get out of it what you put into it, ladies, and we are doing the work right now. And I just want to invite all of you to not feel shame or judgment upon yourself. The biggest thing you could all do for yourself, and I'm talking to myself too, is be curious. Interesting that I got defensive. Interesting, I want to be a hero. Interesting, the drama triangle goes. Like, be curious, because sometimes it pays off to sit back and like notice things, because the drama triangle doesn't go away. We'll still find it when we can get a lot done in the drama triangle. Like sometimes we go into that space, but shifting out of it is what is a beautiful thing, and we're just recognizing. So I think it takes that curiosity to be conscious. And I just want to mention one thing before because when you realize this, there are like those, Deb, you mentioned, like there's toxic people that you're like, wow, what am I going to do? There's people are like so much. You're talking about my family. I love them. But what I've learned to do, and this is another tool, but is sure to be curious when I go, but also remove expectations. We can't expect someone to, like, we're doing the works here, but they haven't done the work. They don't know about the drama triangle, right? And so they don't realize that they thrive in that drama triangle. Some people do. And so offering space for them, you know, kind of curious, like interesting that they, you know, obviously don't realize, because we don't know until I learned about it. I was like, well, I'll be danged. Turns out I like to be a hero. And sometimes I'm a villain, you guys. But anyways, and so what I did that has like really shifted a lot for my relationship with those that can tend to be toxic is just to remove any expectation. I would prefer to have a healthy relationship, but I don't expect it. Not everyone is ready for that yet or is able to do that. And so I just, anyways, it just, it kind of like frees up any, just when we expect something, we're let down. But when we would prefer something, you would prefer it to be like awesome. We would prefer not a drama triangle, but some people live there. And so you just kind of learning as we go. Basically, curiosity has been such a good thing. And I feel like the first time I read this chapter, it slapped me in the face and I like didn't want to leave the house. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like a walking drama triangle. And then I realized like, wait, like I'm just learning, like, right? Like that's part of life. And sometimes there is drama. Sometimes there is the triangle, but recognizing it and learning about it helps us to escape it too. So anyways, just wanted to share that.
No, I loved what you were saying. In fact, as I was reading this chapter, I thought, I wonder if I could photocopy the pages and send them to my family so that we could have a calm conversation. No, I love that. I love that, the expectation part of what you said. I loved exactly what you said. And it's true, because a lot of times I'll go in expecting the worst so that I can walk away. Wow, that wasn't so bad. Okay. Ask yourself, does it matter what I think about myself in this situation? Most of the time, unless it's a tangible threat to our job or runs the risk of us being physically hurt, it is more likely to be an imagined threat to our ego or self-worth. That was eye-opening to me. And it's true, because I have realized the way I was raised with my siblings, words were weapons. And when my husband and I were getting married, we had a really good talk beforehand. And I told him, I said, there's going to be times when I'm going to go quiet. Please let me be quiet, because I didn't want to say something that would damage our relationship. I was so worried of having the same type of family that I grew up in, which I knew was toxic. And words hurt. And so I asked him, I said, please be patient with me and let me be quiet. And during those quiet times, as I'm stewing over what I'm angry about, I always have come to the conclusion that it was something that I made bigger in my head. I assumed the worst and made it worse. And so when I read this, imagined threat to my ego or self-worth, that was spot on with me. Anyway, it says it's a default state response, which is left over from our self-generated story. It does not serve the new us. We will unpack this more in Dr. A's Habits of Health. And I am just so grateful for this book, for the stuff that I am learning. Okay, so, and then it talks about like writing things down here, emotion. Why my daughter leaves the kitchen in a mess? Okay, makes me feel angry. Past response, current response, and then the PS. And I love that, how first she would get angry, and then her new and current response was to be kind, tell her to do it, fix it, and then give her a love afterwards, and how much better their relationship is. And then, I still have to do more on this other page. Like I said, I had so much. It's like, I don't have room on here. I'm going to have to go get my notebook and write a thing and then stick the paper in here. It says it's an exercise, pick different emotions. So if you do this on page 132, I think it's going to be very helpful. And I don't know if you're going to be like me and then need to have a separate paper to stick in here so that you have more room to write or not, but it's there. And that's an option. In fact, when I was in Italy with Gail, I don't know if it was you or if it was one of my other companions, they would write in their journal and they would add pictures and things. And I thought, that's what this life book is. It's like a journal, and I can add things to it like I did on my mission in Italy that meant something to me. And it's so much more fun to go through and go back and read it. But my life will be changed from this. It says, there will be people in your life that can activate your neutral or neural tripwire more easily than others. Try to avoid confrontational people and situations until your stop, challenge, choose habit is fully installed and they no longer have the ability to trigger negativity in you. It's like, okay, I like that. I'm going to have to work on that. And I did start writing some things down here. And then I love this. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, he says, I saw this sign on the entrance to a ski park. I thought it was a perfect reminder that if we want to improve our conscious control of our behavior, then it's important to figure out what we can change in our relationships to help them be more supportive on our journey. Regulating your behavior will be easier as you become more aware of your emotions. That will allow us to start managing responses better. It says, if these positive connections support and enhance your journey, how do we create more of them and deepen them, the existing relationships that we have? It says, using this reflective assessment, will give you tremendous power over your emotions. You will build self-efficacy so that it becomes easier to interact with everyone in your world. Remember, the no system is at the heart of the habits of health experience. It is going to take some work, but inch by inch, everything's a cinch. Just like they said, who was it? Was it last week? Somebody was talking about how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Here we go again, inch by inch. Then as we learn. And so I love these tips. Tips to help you stay above the line. Here's some ways to help you stay above the line when situations feel like it's getting out of control. So this is the stop, challenge, choose. Okay, immediately sense your breathing. So last week, was it Karen that we practiced the breathing? Okay, so immediately sense your breathing. Feel the hot energy cool down before you speak or act. That's one that I've had to work on. Open your water bottle slowly and take a drink before speaking. You know, our brains work fast. They work really fast. So just taking the time to slowly open that bottle to take a sip gives you time to process. I love that. Think of how your response can improve your health before choosing. Count to 10 before responding. Sleep on it before responding. I don't know about you guys, but man, I take out a lot of my aggressions in my dreams. I am not a very eloquent person in real life, but in my dreams, man, I have the words. There's been times I have taken my sister to task and told her stuff. And of course, in my dreams, she's not responding. She's not yelling at me, just listening. And I've been able to get everything out. So it's like, I really like the idea though. You take the time to slow up. And a lot of times I'll talk to my husband. He is calm, cool, collected, and he's reasonable. And so sometimes, depending on what I'm going through, I'll actually talk to him before I go back to whatever's going on with somebody else, because he really helps me with that. So get a better night's sleep. That's a nice one. Smile and be appreciative. Be open, curious, and desire growth when challenged. I can't help but think some of these things, I think one of the biggest goals in our lives is to be charitable. And a lot of these, I think, help you to become. Because I'm sure that through my life, there's been some beautiful, wonderful people who have just been so patient with me, who are probably opening their water bottles very slowly before they respond to me. And I feel that they're very charitable. Anyway, check the ones you're going to implement into your interactions. And I just thought, all of them. I love them all. And then it has these question. Who can upset you? Answer, only you. And that is kind of eye-opening, because it's like I said, my sister just gets on my last nerve, but it's because I let her. Okay, so here are 4 questions that can help you take the bad situation and diffuse the drama. It uses above-the-line thinking, being open, curious, and wanting to learn and grow as you write your new story. What's happening? What did I want to happen? What is missing? And what is next? These 4 questions can help you keep out of the drama triangle, and allow you to pull others out as well. I like that, being able to pull others out as well. With these new strategies on how you improve how you act, model, and respond to others, let's shift the focus on to how you can help people around you become allies in your new healthy story. Now that you have started to self-regulate and to consider how you will respond when you are angry, sad, or joyful, you're in a position to learn how to be aware of other people's emotions and what's going on inside them. That's something that for years and years, I never took into consideration what other people were thinking. I always just knew what I was feeling, what I was thinking. And it's just been in the last probably 3 years where I actually stop now and think, you know, I don't assume I know why somebody said what they said or reacted how they reacted, or I'm learning that I'm not them. I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know what's going on in their head. And I need to have compassion for other people. And I think that's one of the things that kind of goes along with this is not only, you know, it's like learning how to take care of myself, but I'm learning to have more compassion for other people. But a lot of the family drama that we have in my family is assuming that we know what's going on in other people's lives and putting our emotions into other people's actions, which causes problems. So that's something that we need to take out, is we need to take our emotions out of what other people are doing around us to stay out of that triangle. The key habit of health here is to listen with the desire to understand people from their vantage point. Listening is not something we learn to do naturally. We are much better at being transmitters of information. We talk about our point of view, our views, our world, and our story. So when we seek to understand things from someone else's world and their path, everything opens up in our relationships. When someone is talking to us, how much do you think is communicated through actual words, tone of voice, and body language? It's more than half is the body language. And it says body posture and tone give a powerful insight into what others are thinking, and they go a long way to avoid potential confrontations, stress, and otherwise unhealthy outcomes. And this is very highlighted. This is why it's better to discuss something important in person rather than using text or emails. This is something that I've talked with my children about many times. It's like, I'm sorry, but punctuation can be wrong. And we put our own inflection on what we're reading. We don't know how it's coming to us. So if I can't see somebody, I will actually call. And my kids get in trouble if they don't answer when I call, and they'll let it go. It's like they've been texting me and then I try calling, because a 15-minute email or a text back and forth would be 5 minutes if we just talk to each other. And a lot of it is the tone of voice. It can't be it's not misconstrued when you're actually talking to somebody versus when it's a text or something. Like I said, the reader puts their own spin on what they're reading. So I truly believe that, like they said, it's being in person is even better than the phone call. But that, I think, is truthful. Like, I love seeing your faces. I love that. It says, how many times have we either upset someone or been unintentionally rattled by relying on the trivial 7% of words available by text or email? And I've been offended. I will admit it. It says you can also listen to understand. Avoid looking at your phone or screen while people are talking. Step into someone else's shoes and seek to understand the whole picture. So this is, you know, they're talking about, okay, assignment. Make the decision to listen to what someone else is communicating until they are completely done talking. And by that I mean when they have finished their last syllable, before even formulating your response. Strive to listen to understand so that you get what the person you're talking to can appreciate them as a fellow human being. Then replay what you heard them actually say. Sorry. I should probably go get a drink of water.
Can I say something quick?
Yes, yes.
I know we're kind of like almost running out of time, but
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I think something that really stood out to me with this element, and that I think is really important to point out, is just like what we were talking about earlier, like having like-minded people on this health journey with you is 100% like it has to happen. Like it has to be a priority. And, you know, we're going to have people who aren't like-minded and who are going to try to sabotage us or, you know, tell us, encourage us to make, you know, not stop, challenge, and choose, and encourage us to make choices that aren't going to, you know, get us to our goals. That's just going to happen. That's how life is. But I think, you know, it's really important to, you know, get and find those like-minded people, because we can't do this alone. We're humans. We weren't meant to do anything alone, really. You know, we just weren't. We're here on this earth with lots of people, and we need people. And so, you know, if you don't have, you know, a support system or a support person, you know, you got to find them. And you probably need more than one, you know? I know earlier this week I ended up having to take my husband to the hospital, and that is one of probably my least favorite place to be in the whole world. Like, I just don't like the energy there. I don't like, you know, it gives me anxiety, and I'm just worried about my husband, and I was worried about my kids at home, and I just was feeling like the overwhelm, you know? And I texted a couple friends and my sisters, you know, because they have these vending machines in the hallway. And my coping mechanism for stress has always been, you know, to eat and munch and all of that. And honestly, I wanted someone to be like, it's okay, Angie, go eat a candy bar if it makes you feel better. Like, I wanted one of my friends or my sisters to say that to me, and they didn't. They were like, take some breaths. You know, you don't need to fuel your emotions. You have control. You're a powerful woman. You know, it's not going to solve anything except for give you some gas and bloating. So will that make you feel better? You know, they gave me the messages and the response that I needed. And it's because I've locked and loaded myself with this protective bubble of supportive people. And so, yeah, I just think, you know, if we don't have those people in our lives, we got to get them ASAP, you know?
Yeah, that's fabulous. My brother sent me a text today and he said, hey, I found a couple new Italian restaurants. You want to go with me and try their antipasta? And it's like, I can't. And he says, oh, I forgot. I am so sorry. And I loved his response when I told him that I couldn't go. And I'm that way. I forget what other people are doing all the time. I'm always focused on what's going on with my grandkids, my kids, and different things like that. I forget things so easily. But when I reminded him, it was such a sweet response. And he said, you know, he says, you keep going, you keep going. And it's like, thank you. And I'm like I said, being here tonight, last night, okay, oh my gosh, who watched last night? Craig Blanchett. He was fabulous, wasn't he?
Yes, I will. I mean, no offense to the ones that I have, but you almost wish that you had him as a coach.
I love my coach. You take
Oh, I
back.
do too. Don't get me wrong. I do too. I'm just saying he was phenomenal. He was so fun to watch. I missed the very beginning because I was having a hard time logging in. And so I thought, I'm going to go back and watch again. He was so fun to watch and joyful. His joyfulness came through the screen. I just loved him. And his support for the people that he has taught, he's brought into this program, was just so evident. You know, their love for him and his love for them. It was tangible. I agree.
Well, you know what's
Mary
great
wants
about
something.
this? Yeah, I talk with my head. What I love about Optavia is he doesn't have to be your coach. You know, we're all in this together, including, I'm going to hang up on somebody, including the people that are not in our group. They're still pulling for us.
Oh yeah.
So I like when we go to those classes because, you know, you don't just have one coach, you have thousands of coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this name too. It's like, oh, Kate Blanchett's brother.
Can I share something funny? I know we're out of time.
Okay.
So, okay, guys, I became an Optavia coach, like, and then within the next month, I was on a flight to Baltimore, and I'm just like, I'm not a traveler, not seasoned. I remember like saying a prayer in the stall. I had a layover in Detroit. I was the only white girl there, and anyways, which is fine. But I was just like a little intimidated my first time like leaving the homestead. Right, I went into the bathroom stall instead of prayer. I'm like, please help me, Heavenly Father. So I was like super scared. Well, anywho, I went to this training, and it was like so incredible. I was like, what are all these people? Why are they so nice? Like, what do they want from me? Because I hadn't figured it out yet, you guys. I went with a big wall and kind of a crutch. And I was like, are they really like that? Is anyone really that abundant? Are people really that happy? I just thought they're like, this has got to be something, whatever. Anywho, and I went home on the flight thinking, I don't know about this. Well, anyways, I met a girl that I forever loved sitting, and I was all these strangers, right? Well, Craig Blanchett is sitting right in front of me. I had no idea he's in a wheelchair. I had no idea he didn't have legs, right? But I don't see through those eyes. Like, that doesn't faze me. Those things don't faze me. But like, he like literally, I thought that dude can like turn around. Well, obviously I had no legs. So like, he like completely turned around and was like in the airport, in the airplane chair. But like, he gave me the most gold nuggets of like anyone I ever had. It was one-on-one training from a flight from Baltimore to Salt Lake City. And anyways, I just like, but like exactly what Mary said, like the abundance and the fact that he poured into me. And the sucky thing, everyone, is I was so new, I could barely grasp onto a couple of the nuggets. He was throwing some stones at me. I couldn't even catch them. They almost knocked me over because it was so like cool. Pure gold. But I love that man. Like, there are people that are just like the most purest, like angelic, Christ-like, whatever you call it. They are just so incredible. And but I think we're in good company. You guys are pretty awesome yourselves. But I do love that we can learn from different people, because there are certain coaches within Optavia that I respond to, and there are some that I'm like, they're talking again. So, and that's okay. That's okay. But here's one tip of advice, and then I'll stop talking. If something doesn't bring you joy, or if you're listening to a training or something that you don't feel, that doesn't help you to feel like good about, if you listen to a training and something's bringing you down, there's a problem. It could be your mindset, or it could be this person that you're learning from. Maybe you don't respond as well to that person. And so there's so many others that we can like learn from. And so I did notice that. I learned that early on. I'm like, you could take information. There's a lot of information, but you can pick what best suits you. And so anyways, that's what I love about those trainings, is you'll find your people, you'll find your tribe.
How much time do we have, Mary?
She didn't care. Just keep going.
Well, you know what? Are we like halfway through, or are we almost at the end?
I think we're about halfway through this thing. Like I said, there's so much in here.
Oh, there is. I agree.
There's so much in here for me.
I agree.
It's just like, I'm going on and on and on. And
well, would you mind finishing it up next week?
Do you mind?
No, would you mind finishing up next week?
I'd be happy to. This is
okay?
A great element.
It is.
It is.
If you guys are good with that, then we'll go ahead and finish this next week, starting on page, like say, I think we were on 139.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I like to leave like 5 minutes towards the end to see if anybody has any non-scale victories, or just ask a question, or need an atta-girl. Like Angie, I'm proud that you did not eat anything off of those vending machines. Atta-girl.
Thank you.
Because you would have felt guilty afterwards. Don't you think?
If you would have done your own, we would have made you feel that way.
Oh, you guys, I wanted a cinnamon roll today like none other. Oh, but I've been good.
Good girl.
Yep.
Way to be strong.
It's the
Oh,
bread.
I will tell you all, as I
bread.
was, as last week, as I was admitting that I was going to go to Cheesecake Factory, whatever, because we were celebrating my daughter's birthday, we did not go because my beautiful, wonderful daughter said, Mom, that's not on program. So I'm not going to ask you to do that. We'll just go
That's sweet.
and celebrate some other way.
That was really
Oh
nice of
my
her.
gosh.
She's in your bubble.
What a
Good
sweet
job.
daughter.
She's in my bubble and I love her to death.
What a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I don't know if you've been on Facebook, but I just realized that Amy was in our group. And I've been watching her videos all week thinking, man, she is good.
Isn't she?
And I thought, I said, she looks familiar.
I will say that I love to look at all of your faces because you see everybody's faces changing, and Amy definitely, you can see her face melting slowly, which is beautiful.
That's what I'm hoping for. It's like, see, I'm in there. I just
It
need
will
this
happen.
part to go away.
It will. I think that's where everybody loses it first. Would you agree?
They're in the boobs.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, my bra is fitting better.
I have like 2 little envelopes, empty envelopes now instead of. Oh well.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Okay, so
Okay.
does anybody have any non-scale victories they want to share? Nobody? Okay, you don't have to.
I will.
Okay, good.
I went to the doctor's on Monday and my A1C was down. It was 9.6 and it's now down to 7.7.
Great
And
job.
also I've had high blood pressure for quite a while and my blood pressure was just a little below normal. It was 117/74.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
But were you on blood pressure medicine and is he taking you off?
I'm supposed to be taking blood pressure medicine, but I don't take my medicine like I'm supposed to, so it's without medicine. This is
Wow.
from diet.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
fabulous.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get off of my metformin and my high blood pressure medicine. There's a lot that I'm hoping to get off while losing this weight. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll finish up element 5. If you haven't had a chance to read it, even though we went over it, I've read it like 3 times.
It's good.
It is. It really is good. And somebody said, I'm really lousy with quotes. Something about you become like the 9 people that you're around the most. Oh, you said that? 5 people? Oh, sorry. A bunch of people, anyhow, a group of people. You know, so being in this group, you guys lift us all up. What do they say? The tide lifts all boats, you know? So let us wrap our bubbles around you, and then we'll finish it up next week.
Yep.
And
I have
Okay.
one thing, Mary, that I found out
Way to
today
go,
on
Deb.
the leadership call.
mhm.
And this is for this is for coaches, but like clients. So for any coaches or clients, and honestly, anyone, Optavia. So our group is having a personal development retreat, and I've never walked away from one that hasn't like been life-changing. And this one's in Mexico. So it's in Cancun, and they have, so for clients, it's $75 to be able to go to the retreat, and that comes with 2 lean and green meals. And then for coaches, it's 2 lean and green meals, and then you have 2 full days. And any clients that would want to come would be invited to go to all of the trainings. because they're all really working on you. That's what's cool about being a coach is you can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm grateful for that because I've had to learn to refill mine as we all do at times. But so anyways, I just learned there's a different link, but it's a little bit less expensive for sure for clients. And so anyone's welcome to come. And the resort, I found out, so the rooms are $115 a night. And so it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, April, like 20, let me look really quick and I'll tell you exactly. So anyone that would want to go, if you don't have your passport, get a passport and entertain the idea, because there's magic that happens when we like leave our bubble, when we leave our space, and when you're surrounded, like it's powerful when you're with all these people. Let's see, so there's 22nd, 23rd, 24th are basically the times. Adrian said, who's planning on going? I am for sure. Absolutely, hands down.
I'm going to have to see if I've got an immunization by then.
Yeah, because you need to, going out, I think you don't have to, you have to just test coming back, right? So you would need to test like before you leave the resort, and the resort offers those for free too.
Wow.
It's at a Marriott resort, which does make me feel safe, safer too. And so, but I did go to Mexico in July, and I felt safer in Mexico than I did in Utah, to be honest. So, but yeah, anyways, that's something to entertain. So if anyone is interested, ask questions, but I love how they've accommodated clients as well. And so if you want to, create your space, but like it's when you are learning these things and you take those that you love with you, then you have like the growth mindset with you, which makes it easier. So anyways, that's all. Thanks. Thanks for teaching us tonight and pouring into us. That was fabulous.
Yes, thanks, Deb.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you. I'm doing a screenshot to get all these messages in here before it goes away, because I want to read them.
Joy, have you been here before?
Oh, this is my first time.
Well, welcome.
Yay!
Thank you. So Mary, I sent you an email about my daughter. I jumped in on your stressed out and on your herbology, and I figured I'd come and visit this today, and it is hitting the mark. So I'm happy to be here. I've already ordered the book, and I have a couple of friends that I think could really benefit from this as well. So
Well,
thank you.
yeah, absolutely. You just invite, like Robin said, invite people, If it gets too big that we feel like we can't get as close, we can always split it in half, and have it in 2 different days. So, and then we can like switch it, mix and match, so we get to meet everybody, So the more the merrier.
I have your email, Joy, and I'll make sure you get into our support group on Facebook too. Welcome.
Okay, anything else before we blow this popcorn stand? Oops, sorry. Blow this barbecue cruncher stand? No? Okay.
No.
Thanks a lot for coming, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much.